Shalom Mishpaka. I'm very happy for the opportunity Hakadosh has given to me to be able to communicate with you once again His will and His heart and His words concerning your life, and also to His children to lead and guide them on how they should walk with Him. Shabbat Shalom, and this is what you're going to read, the Shabbat reading for today, that you meditate on. Taking my reading from 1 Samuel chapter 2. Go with me when you read chapter 2. Let's look at let's read from verse 23. But wherever I'm going to read, I'm going to just pick some points that we're going to read. I'll be speaking on the unforgivable sin. It's been impressed in my ruach to speak about this because a lot of people are being doomed to hell for eternity without them knowing what is it they have done or they are doing. And this is the love of Hakadosh, reaching out to his children all over the world to give them a chance to repent before it's actually too late. Now let's read 1 Samuel chapter 2. Let's see from verse 22. And Eli was very old and had heard all that his sons were doing to all Yasharel, and how they lay with the women who were assembling at the door of the tent of appointment. Listen, he heard. Then this is what he said to them. And he said to them, why do you do deeds like this? For I hear of your evil deeds from all the people. Eli was like trying to talk to them. He said, if one man sins against another, Elohim shall judge him. But if a man sins against El Shaddai, this is verse 25 now, who shall pray for him? So Eli knew that his sons were sinning against the El of Yeshua. He knew they were sinning against El Shaddai, and he was warning them that they are not sinning against the people. They are not doing bad to the people. They are actually doing bad. They are sinning against El Shaddai. Then who is going to atone for them? The father warned them verbally. Now, this is going to expose to you why Eli and his entire generation was cursed and was removed from the surface of the earth. Let's continue so that you know how grievous it is when one does not follow the Torah, number one. Number two, when you don't enforce the Torah, you are learning, or you know, in your home, in your family, in the life of your children. It's not enough to follow the Torah and obey the Torah and obey what your El Shaddai is teaching you or what is commanded you to do. You must also enforce it to your children. Your children must also be part of it. If you pay tithes, you also have to put in your child's hand and say, this is also your tithe you're going to pay. You're paying your tithe. If you give tzedakah, put it also in your child's hand. Give your child some money and say, this is also tzedakah. You must also involve your children directly in the Torah. As you observe Shabbat, make sure the child understands and is observing a Shabbat with you. It's not enough to obey Hakadosh. If you as a parent is not enforcing it in your home, in the life of your children, you're going to be punished. Let me continue. I repeat, verse 25. If one man sins against another, Elohim shall judge him. But if a man sins against El Shaddai, who shall pray for him? But they did not listen to the voice of their father, though it pleased El Shaddai to put them to death. That was very, very wrong. Now, why was this sin held against Eli? I'm reading this here before you see the judgment. You're going to see the punishment that is going to be unleashed on him, and not his family alone, but his entire generation. Let's continue. Verse 27. And a man of Elohim. You see, before Akadosh is so loving, El Shaddai is so loving and caring, that before he releases his judgment, he will give that person series of warnings. He's patient and he's merciful. And that is why he will give you warnings and warning. The warning does not mean that you've escaped judgment or he can do nothing. When the judgment starts, nobody can deliver you from his hand. This was what Eli was telling his children. Now, Eli, people have been reporting his children to him. He's been speaking to them. He's been rebuking them verbally. Now, according to the Torah, it is written here, if you read it, it says, if a father have a child that is disobedient, this is not even sin of witchcraft, disobedient, he should come before the elders, report that child, and he, the father or the mother, will be the first to stone the child, and every other person in Israel will stone the child to death because the person has refused to obey the father. How much more the atrocities the boys did, breaking every aspect of the Torah. Let's continue. 27. And a man of Elohim came to Eli and said to him, thus says El Shaddai, did I not clearly reveal myself to the house of your father when they were in Mitzrayim in Pharaoh's house? Now El Shaddai sent a Nabi to Eli to give him this message. He said, 28, even to choose him out of all the tribes of Yesharol, to be my Kohen, to offer upon my altar, to burn incense, and to wear a shoulder garment before me. And did I not give to the house of your father all the offerings of the children of Yesharol made by fire? 29. Why do you kick at my slaughtering and my offering, which I have commended in my Mishkan, and esteem your sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the best of all the offerings of Yeshua, my people, of all the offerings? Now, what was happening is this. When people come with offerings to the temple, the sons take everything for themselves. They do not perform the service they're supposed to perform as Kohen for the children of Yeshua. They make themselves fat. In fact, in summary, they were not obeying the Torah. They are breaking every aspect of the Torah. 30. Therefore, El Shaddai, Elohim of Yeshua, declares, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father will walk before me forever. But now, El Shaddai declares, far be it from me, for those who esteem me, I esteem, and those who despise me are accursed. This was the time that El Shaddai removed the Levites from ever serving him again. Now, let me give you just a brief history, the hierarchy. By the time El Shaddai delivered the Israelites from Mitzrayim, he wanted a group of people that would serve him. And he suggested to them and said, every firstborn son is mine. Anybody that gives birth to the first son is his. It should be given to the Levi or to the priest. And the person, that son, is going to serve in the Mishkan. And a lot of families complained. And some said, no, I do not want my son. I have only one son. What if I have only one son? So he's going to be confined to the temple. He's not, what about his inheritance? And you know that anyone that serves as a Levi doesn't have an inheritance. No, I want my son to run my business, not to be confined to the temple, to the four walls of the temple. No, people now brought some arguments. And what happened? The nation, I said, okay, in that case, I will need a tribe that is going to volunteer to serve me all the days of their life. No, they're not going to have inheritance because I'm going to be the inheritance. And they're going to be doing all the service of the temple as I've commanded them. Now, for those that have firstborn sons, what you're going to do is you're going to redeem them. You're going to pay a certain amount of money to the Levi and then give an animal in exchange for that son. Just to say, please, instead of, it's just like saying, paying money in exchange of, let my son go with me, instead of serving Hakadosh. That was the option that Hakadosh now gave to them. Now, the tribe of Levi volunteered themselves to serve Hakadosh and to serve in his Mishkan. And so that was why I said, now every other tribe, when you give birth to a first son, come and, remit some money, some offerings, and in exchange for the child, so that the child will not be in the temple. This is how it is. Now, from the time of Eli, he closed the lineage of Eli. Eli, his house in particular, has been the one consecrated to serve as a Kohen and as a Levite in the temple, his family and his whole lineage. And that was how it was closed. And that was why he closed, shut them down before Shmuel came up. And that's why now it's now moved. That responsibility now moved to anybody. Now, not any tribe, not any minister, anybody that esteems him and yields him or herself to Hakadosh for his service. And that's why Deborah was there. She was among those that, one of the Nabia that was offering those sacrifices on behalf of Israel. Shmuel is here. After Shmuel, see, there was nothing like Levite priest. It was Shmuel that would offer the sacrifices on behalf, going from one family to the other, traveling from one city to the other, doing the sacrifices personally. This was the time that now obeying the Torah now became personal, became, you start from your house, just like they say charity begins at home. This is now, I say, now this is not Israel in general. Anyone, any home, any person that wants me and that obeys me, I will come, I'll dwell with the person, I will esteem the person, I will show the person my way, my Torah, and I would baruch the person. This is where it changed. The whole story changed. So in the world today, when Israel says the tribe of Levi to be offering offerings, they are the chosen tribe, is a lie. Because they've been rejected because of the atrocities their generation. In fact, just only Eli alone made the whole thing to stop. And now Abba said, Almighty says, no, far be it from me. He said, therefore said Elohim of Yeshurun declares, I said indeed that your house and the house of your father would walk before me forever. It was the tribe of Levi that has been chosen to walk before Hakadosh forever. Both his house and the father house, they were the chosen tribe to be offering burnt offerings forever. But from Eli, it was cancelled. He said, no, he can't continue like this. He's not going to take this. Because of the sin of Eli, my brothers and my sisters, you have no idea what your disobedience to the Torah is causing to you, your life, your generation. You have no idea. It's not as easy or as simple as you see it. Untold sufferings, calamities await those. It's there written, it is very, very clear. He said, if you walk and you obey my words, you will, when you plant, Baruch shall you will be in the city, Baruch will you be in your going out, your coming will be Baruch. But if you disobey my words, if you disobey my laws and my commands, the person will be cursed. The diseases of the Egyptians will be upon them. The person will work, but another person will reap the fruits of his labor. He will build a house, another person will come and live in the house. A lot of curses. Look at, just read that chapter of Beraka and curses. So you have no idea what you're doing to yourself when you're thinking, you're taking for granted any aspect of the world that Hakadosh has commanded you. You have no excuse. The damage that it causes is far more than what you can ever think of, and it's generational. Let's continue. 30. Far be it from me, for those who esteem me are esteemed, and those who despise me are accursed. Simple. Now it doesn't matter anywhere you are. Even if you're a Gentile and you decide from now on, I want to obey the laws of Almighty, the laws He has commanded to anyone living in His territory on earth to obey, I want to do it. And you yield yourself and you grow and you reach a certain spiritual level, He will use you to fulfill what He wants you to fulfill here on earth. He's going to use you. Now it's not open to anyone